The shattering of the antique glass, that tiny, delicate hummingbird trapped within its fragile dome, was the first sound I registered after the deafening silence that had descended. Not the scream that ripped through my throat, not the choked sob that followed, but the crystalline splintering like a thousand frozen tears hitting a marble floor. Liam, his back still turned, stood silhouetted against the rain-streaked window, the city lights blurring behind him like a distorted painting. He just said in a voice as flat as the dead winter outside that he was leaving. Not for a trip, not for a job, but leaving. Gone, forever. The words echoed cold and sharp, bouncing off the exposed brick walls of our loft, a space we'd painstakingly crafted into a home, a sanctuary of shared laughter and whispered secrets. He didn't turn around, didn't offer a touch, a glance, nothing. Just the stoic, unmoving form of a man I thought I knew better than my own reflection. I'd always believed in the fairy tale, the forever kind of love, the kind they wrote songs about, the kind that made your soul ache with its sheer, overwhelming beauty. And Liam, with his crooked smile and eyes that held the universe, was supposed to be my forever. He was the one who saw the fragments of my broken spirit and pieced them back together, the one who taught me how to breathe again after years of suffocating under the weight of societal judgment. He'd stolen my heart, yes, with a slow, deliberate kind of theft, a gentle invasion that left me willingly captive. But now he was taking it back, shattering it into pieces as fine as the glass shards scattered around the lifeless hummingbird. I remember the hummingbird, a gift from him, a symbol of resilience, of fragile beauty that could withstand the harshest storms. It seemed impossibly cruel, a twisted reflection of our own unraveling. The twist. He didn't just leave, he vanished, no trace, no note, no explanation, as if he'd never existed in the first place, leaving behind only the ghost of his presence and the gaping wound where my heart used to be. The police, initially dismissive, chalked it up to a lover's quarrel gone wrong, but I knew deep in my bones that something was terribly, irrevocably wrong. He wasn't simply walking away, he was being taken away, stolen from me just like he'd stolen my heart. And the realization hit me with the force of a tidal wave. He didn't just steal my heart, he stole my entire reality. The following weeks were a blur of frantic searches, desperate phone calls, and the hollow echo of unanswered questions. Every corner of the city, every familiar haunt, every place we'd shared a stolen glance or a whispered promise became a painful reminder of his absence. I became a ghost in my own life, haunting the places he'd haunted, clinging to the fading scent of his cologne on his discarded scarf, a desperate attempt to grasp at the tangible remnants of his existence. The police, their initial apathy replaced by a grudging concern, began to treat me with a strange mix of pity and suspicion. They scrutinized our relationship, dissecting every shared moment, every whispered word, searching for a motive, a reason, a clue. I found myself reliving every memory, every conversation, searching for a hidden meaning, a subtle sign I'd missed. I replayed his laughter, his touch, his eyes, trying to decipher the secrets they held. The city, once a vibrant tapestry of shared experiences, now felt like a cold, indifferent maze, each street corner a potential dead end. I started to question my own sanity, wondering if I'd fabricated the entire relationship, if Liam was just a figment of my imagination, a beautiful, fleeting dream that had dissolved into the harsh reality of loneliness. But the tangible evidence, the photographs, the gifts, the shared memories, they were too real, too vivid to be dismissed. Then the first twist revealed itself, a cryptic message left on our shared laptop, a series of seemingly random numbers and letters that, when decoded, led to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Inside, I found a hidden room, a makeshift laboratory filled with strange equipment and complex diagrams. Liam, my Liam, the man who'd stolen my heart with his gentle eyes and quiet strength, was involved in something far more dangerous, far more complex than I could have ever imagined. The diagrams spoke of advanced technology, of energy sources and complex equations that made my head spin. He was a scientist, a brilliant, enigmatic scientist, working on something that was clearly beyond my comprehension. Further investigation revealed that Liam was not his real name, but rather an alias. He was a man with a past shrouded in secrets, a past he'd kept hidden behind a carefully constructed facade. The man I loved, the man who had stolen my heart, was a stranger, a phantom, a mystery wrapped in an enigma. The warehouse, a cold, concrete tomb of secrets, became my obsession. I spent hours there, sifting through the remnants of Liam's hidden life, piecing together the fragments of his past like a broken mosaic. The cryptic messages, the complex diagrams, they began to make a twisted kind of sense, revealing a world of clandestine research and dangerous experiments. He was working on a project, something he called Project Chimera, a technology that could manipulate energy, bend light, and potentially even alter reality itself. The implications were staggering, terrifying. He wasn't just a scientist. He was a pioneer, a revolutionary, pushing the boundaries of what was possible and perhaps what was safe. The police, now fully invested in the investigation, had uncovered a network of individuals connected to Liam, shadowy figures involved in corporate espionage and high-stakes technological theft. They believed he was either a victim or a key player in a dangerous game, a game with stakes far higher than I could have ever imagined. Each revelation was a blow, a shattering of the illusion I'd so carefully constructed around him. The man I loved was a ghost, a phantom, a chameleon, shifting identities and allegiances with a skill that left me reeling. The second twist emerged from the depths of his research. Project Chimera wasn't just about manipulating energy, it was about manipulating memory. He was developing a technology that could alter, erase, or even create memories, a technology that could rewrite the very fabric of identity. The realization was a chilling wave of ice washing over me, leaving me numb and disoriented. Had he used this technology on me? Had our shared memories, our stolen moments of intimacy, been fabricated, implanted, a carefully constructed illusion? Was my love for him real, or was it a product of his manipulation, a twisted experiment in emotional control? The thought was unbearable, a terrifying violation of my very being. I began to question everything, every touch, every word, every stolen glance. Was he the architect of my reality, the puppeteer pulling the strings of my emotions? The line between love and manipulation blurred, dissolving into a terrifying gray area. My heart, already fractured, felt like it was being ripped apart, strand by agonizing strand. Was his forever a manipulation, a manufactured reality, a lie? The question echoed in my mind, a relentless, torturous refrain. I started to believe that he didn't just steal my heart, but he was attempting to steal my very soul, my very essence. The investigation became a descent into a labyrinth of deceit, each step revealing a deeper layer of complexity, a more intricate web of lies. The shadowy figures connected to Liam, the ones involved in the corporate espionage, were not just interested in stealing his technology, they were terrified of it. They spoke of the dangers of Project Chimera, the potential for catastrophic consequences if it fell into the wrong hands. They described Liam as a brilliant but reckless genius, a man driven by a desperate need to rectify a past mistake, a mistake that had cost him everything. They spoke of a lost love, a woman whose memory he was trying to recreate, to bring back from the brink of oblivion. The twist here was this lost love wasn't a stranger. It was a person he tried to save, a sibling who was lost due to a past lab accident that he blamed himself for. This revelation added another layer of complexity to his actions, transforming him from a manipulative phantom into a desperate, broken soul driven by grief and guilt. But the question remained, did his grief justify his actions? Did his desperation excuse his manipulation? The police, with the assistance of a specialized tech unit, managed to recover fragments of Liam's experimental data, revealing the true potential of Project Chimera. It wasn't just about manipulating memories, it was about creating them, transferring them, and even merging them. He was attempting to create a digital replica of his lost sibling, a perfect simulation of her mind, a way to bring her back to life. But the technology was unstable, unpredictable, capable of creating unpredictable side effects and potentially erasing the original mind in the process. He wasn't just stealing memories, he was stealing identities, rewriting the very essence of a person's being. And I realized with a chilling clarity that I was a test subject, a pawn in his desperate game. He was experimenting on me, using my memories, my emotions, my very essence to perfect his technology. The stolen heart wasn't just a metaphor, it was a literal theft, a violation of my mind, my identity. He had taken the most intimate parts of myself, the fragments of my soul, and used them as raw material for his twisted experiment. The realization was a devastating blow, a betrayal that cut deeper than any physical wound. The man I loved, the man who had stolen my heart, was a scientist obsessed with a ghost, and I was just the canvas he painted his obsession onto. My sense of self started fragmenting, the lines between my reality and Liam's manufactured reality became increasingly blurred. I was becoming a ghost in my own life, a puppet dancing to the tune of his twisted symphony. The final confrontation took place in the heart of Liam's hidden laboratory, a sterile metallic space humming with the energy of his forbidden technology. He stood before a shimmering holographic projection, a digital reconstruction of his lost sibling, her image flickering and distorted, a ghost trapped in a digital cage. He looked gaunt, his eyes hollow, his face etched with a desperate intensity. He was a man consumed by his obsession, a scientist lost in the labyrinth of his own creation. The police, their weapons drawn, surrounded him, but I stepped forward, my voice trembling but firm. I confronted him not with anger but with a raw, aching vulnerability. I asked him why he had stolen my heart, my memories, my very identity. He didn't deny it. He admitted to using me, to manipulating my emotions, to stealing fragments of my soul. But he also revealed the final, devastating twist. He hadn't just used me, he had merged our memories, our emotions, our very essences. He had created a bridge between our minds, a connection so profound, so intertwined that we were now irrevocably linked. The holographic projection of his sibling flickered and dissolved, replaced by a distorted image of myself, a mirror reflecting the twisted reality of our connection. He had stolen my heart not just as a metaphor, but as a literal act of merging our consciousness. He was trying to bring his sibling back, but he was also trying to merge with me to create a new entity, a fusion of our minds, a twisted form of immortality. He believed that by merging our minds, he could achieve a form of resurrection, a way to bring his sibling back through me. He was attempting to make me his sibling. This was his forever. The shock of this revelation was a physical blow, a shattering of my last remaining illusions. The man I loved, the man who had stolen my heart, had tried to steal my very being, to erase my identity and replace it with his own twisted creation. The ending was not a resolution, but a terrifying realization. He didn't just steal my heart, he stole my sense of self, my reality, and in the process, he had stolen a part of his own. We were now bound, inextricably linked, two souls trapped in a twisted embrace, forever intertwined in the digital labyrinth of his creation. It was a forever I never wanted, a forever that left me questioning the very nature of love, identity, and the terrifying power of obsession.